Warning, the Dub Talk podcast contains language and content that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Also, there will be spoilers for the entirety of the series Wolf's Rain, as well as various other anime series. Please use caution in case we discuss a series you haven't finished yet. And finally, the opinions expressed in today's episode are those of the individual participants and do not reflect the Dub Talk podcast as a whole. They say there's no such place as paradise. Even if you search to the ends of the earth, there's nothing there. No matter how far you walk, it's always the same road. Just goes on and on. But in spite of that, why am I so driven to find it? A voice calls to me. It says, "Search for paradise." Greetings, dear listeners, and welcome to Dub Talk, the podcast where we discuss the latest and greatest in English dubs. I'm Stephanie, and joining me tonight are my OG partners in crime, Hardy and Megan.
Howdy!
How do we even come into this with a joke? Holy shit.
Yeah.
You can't. That's the problem.
I saw an owl once and I never want to see one again.
Who am I? Where am I?
God, I wanted to punch that thing in the fucking face. I'm with Hige. Sume, jump up there and eat that.
Tear its head off. It's fine. It's fucking fine.
Nothing of value would be lost.
Not wrong. Okay. If you would recall a tweet from us earlier this year, we all know that 2020 is Dub Talk's 5-year anniversary. Happy fucking birthday, Dub Talk.
Oh.
Yay.
That's all you're gonna say? Y'all are... God, whatever.
I don't know how you expect us to have... This just... Oh.
Anyway, to celebrate every month this year, each of your favorite hosts has been covering a series that is near and dear to their little otaku hearts. You may already know what I decided to
I know
pick
you
out for
said
a special
otaku,
occasion.
but it came through my headphones as taco hearts.
It's not Tuesday, though. It's not Taco Tuesday.
Every day is Taco Tuesday if you try hard enough.
Hell yeah.
Especially if Andrew's around.
God, fuck.
Thanks, Hardy. High five.
Oh, shit. Side note, I'm recording this episode at Andrew's house, and he's currently downstairs.
Hardy just alley-ooped that to me, and I dunked it.
Jesus Christ. Oh, alright. You may already know what I decided to pick out for the special occasion. However, if you are new here, you're a new viewer and listener to Dub Talk, well, we're going to be joining the pack today and searching for paradise as we discuss the English dub of Wolf's Rain, the 2003 Studio Bones series.
Sunshine and rainbows for all.
And
Hell yeah.
Nothing bad happens. Everyone takes a nice long trek in the wilderness. There is nothing bad that ever happens. Flowers, sunshine, rainbows. There's dancing. Char Honorably shows up for some reason.
No. There's dancing lobsters.
And a walrus.
Cuckoo Cachoo. Okay,
the walrus.
That is literally one of the fucking, wildest fights I've ever watched in anime, and I'm not even joking.
And on this day, young Toboe became a man.
Like, holy shit.
Anyway.
That thing was fucking huge.
We'll talk about the walrus in a little bit. Let me get through the intro, please.
You can't not talk about it.
I know you can't not talk about it, but can we not talk about it right now so I can get through the intro?
Fine.
God, alright. So, if you are unfamiliar with what Wolf's Rain is about, here's a quick little summary. Paradise, a legend, a myth, and a hopeless dream in a world that has become a wasteland. It is not meant for everyone. Only the wolves thought to be extinct, yet still roam the lands. When the Flower Maiden awakens, the path to the end will open. Kiba, a lone white wolf, wanders into a poverty-stricken city on a quest. The scent of lunar flowers and the will to find paradise is all he has. Along the way, he runs into other outcast wolves, Sume, Hige, and Toboe, each with their own story and troubles. Fate bringing them together, they seek out the flower maiden Cheza and their way to paradise. But doing so is no simple matter. Up against a world that fears them and a man with mysterious abilities, their journey is overrun with challenges and worse, sacrifices. With limited time, they must fight to protect Cheza against everyone who seeks her and discover the hidden path to their destiny. This group of broken souls will form a pack and take their journey to the door of paradise. But is it worth the end of the world? So, yeah.
Yes.
And
there was
some
a fucking
post-apocalyptic
walrus
shit
along the way. There was a goddamn walrus.
She's gonna be stuck on this walrus for like 5 hours now.
It's what happens when you deny science to Jamie Heineman.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Who's been denying science?
Alright. Now I'm thinking of, what the fuck is it? What is it? Hardy knows this better than I do. What hath mad science wrought?
What has mad science wrought?
I don't remember the name from that, where that's from.
That's from Atomic Robot. That's Dr. Dinosaur.
Thank you.
No,
I know nothing about
The only
Atomic
reason I
Robot.
say that is there's this great meme image of like a baby walrus in a bucket.
Yeah.
And it's the bearded guy, Jamie from Mythbusters, and it goes, "Dad, yes, son, I myth you." And it's like one of my favorite images on the internet.
That is so fucking precious. Anyway, oh god.
But that thing was like the size of a fucking semi! And Toboe ate its face off!
She texted me about the walrus. She freaked the fuck out. It's funny. Anyway, God, stop. No more distractions. Cut it out. Anyways, we're going to be covering the casting of the series and giving our thoughts and opinions on the performance of the show. And in the end, because fuck everything. This is a classics episode. I don't give a shit. This was, fun fact, this was supposed to be the pilot episode for the classics series, but you know that didn't fucking happen.
Yeah, Megan's got depression really bad.
Yeah, it's a thing. Anyway.
We're all surprised that Megan managed to watch 9 episodes of this show in a day at one point.
But anyway, I'm actually glad we're covering this now. So we're gonna see if the dub still holds up today, or if it should go the way of the dinosaurs. So before we get into the actual staffing and cast and everything like that, because we love doing this here with the classics episodes in particular, is knowing our knowledge and previous experience with this show. So if I am correct, Hardy has never seen the show before, but he does know the ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had watched little bits and pieces on Adult Swim when it was airing. I never actually sat down and watched the whole thing, and I think up until this point, there were 3 series that are super popular that for the longest time I just absolutely refused to watch because their fan base
was one of them.
Fan base is kind of annoyed me. Evangelion was the main one.
I still won't watch Evangelion. I understand that.
Death Note I watched up to a certain point, and then the fans just killed it for me, so I stopped it.
Yep.
And then this show, mainly because a few episodes that I watched, I was turned off by all of the scenes of animal abuse. And it's still really hard to watch today, but this is getting...
It's brutal. It doesn't hold any punch. It doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah, this podcast has given me the excuse to finally go back and go all the way through it. So
it hits hard.
Yeah.
And then Megan, I think before had only watched the first episode and then never has gotten back to it.
I had seen maybe the first couple episodes, or maybe the first 2 is usually what I've seen. Yeah. And a weird thing is that I actually own the manga for this.
Really?
Which is vastly different from the anime. Yeah, I still actually do. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can go try to find it really quick.
While you're going to find it, I'll go over my brief experience with this. So, this is actually the show that made me discover what anime actually is. So, when I was probably like 13, 14 years old, I was up late one night at my dad's house, and I was watching TV. My sister was asleep, and I decided to watch something, and I flipped the channels to Cartoon Network, and I saw, I think, the last 2 or 3 minutes of Wolf's Rain. I don't remember specifically what point it was, but I think it was when they might have first met Cheza, is when I first saw it. And I got very curious, because it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I saw this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then after that, Inuyasha came on, and I was drawn in. And I'm like, what is all this stuff I'm watching right now? This isn't what Cartoon Network usually has. This is weird. So Wolf's Rain is basically the reason why and how I discovered what anime actually is, honestly. So this definitely does have a special place in my heart. And I actually watched it through for entirely for the first time, because I started smack dab in the middle during the Adult Swim run, and I watched it for the first time a few years ago when I actually reviewed the show when I used to do anime reviews.
So the answer to your question is yes, I still own both volumes of them, and they are both signed by Kiba's actor.
Nice. But anyway, but yeah, God, when I watched it fully for the first time a few years ago when I did my review for this, which is still up on this channel because I didn't want to take it down, and oh my God, people love it. Thank you for that, whoever, the thousands of people who still watch that. And it's very strange, like, a lot of people I think our age really do know what the show is and love it, but I think the new generation has no fucking clue. They have no clue what this show is. It hurts. I tell you this much. It hurts. But yeah, that's my brief little history with it.
By the way, if anybody asks, no, the manga's ending is very, very much different from the anime ending in that nobody actually dies in the manga.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Everybody
Spoilers.
fucking dies.
Yeah.
No one lives.
To say that the ending of this show is brutal is an understatement.
Oh,
the
yeah.
last... how many OVAs are there? 3 or 4?
It's 4. It's 4 of them.
Yeah. So the last 4 episodes of the show can be some of the most depressing and hard-to-stomach shit to watch.
Yeah.
Like, especially the last episode, like, fucking Darsha scares the shit out of me, guys.
Oh, let's like get started into the whole shebang, because when we get to Darsha, oh boy, there's gonna be some fun words.
So, all I hear is Darsha this, Darsha that, Darsha.
God, fuck.
Jaguara, where Jagara when Hamina comes over.
I've been wanting to make that joke for days now.
God damn it! That's
Bless.
That's such a good joke.
God bless. We're gonna have a bunch of fun jokes. I gotta remember one for later we had last night. Anyway, so we're gonna just dive right into it. We've been rambling on long enough with intros and shit. So of course we're gonna start off with our staff. So we have our ADR director, and we have 2 script writers. So for our ADR director, we have the wonderful, amazing, outstanding Miss Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, who has also been the director for other series such as Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Naruto, and Cowboy Bebop. As for writers, Mary also serves as one of our script writers for the show. She's the main script writer, and she has written for other shows such as Digimon Tamers, Metropolis, and Appleseed. But she is not alone. She is assisted on some episodes by Miss Leah Sargent, who has also done script work for The Big O, Mobile Suit Gundam 0080, and Outlaw Star. So, Megan, what are your thoughts on the directing and writing of the show?
Oh, I guess I'll get to go first. Okay.
You know me. I'm gonna be mixing people around the whole night.
Oh, good lord. So, oh gosh, this stuff was produced in what, 03, 04?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the show itself was 03.
Okay, yeah. So, the
So
dub
probably
would be
04, 05.
5. Yeah, the dub. So, yeah, one of the things I didn't get to watch this dub when this show came out, mostly because I would have only been around, like, 12 or 13 years old, and 12 or 13-year-old Megan would have fucking hated this.
Yeah.
She also would have been scared shitless of it.
You're talking to Stephanie, who 13, 14-year-old Stephanie was terrified of Paranoia Agent at the time.
Okay, to be fair, as somebody who is watching Paranoia Agent for the first time right now, surprise, that got rescued.
Yay.
Episodes that were recorded earlier this year are just really funny now.
It's true. Because I think there
So,
was... I think
Paradise Kiss, if anybody would like to grab that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Go on.
So, this dub is just so hauntingly beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is so well done. And you could not tell, unless you looked at, like, the actual cast members, this does not feel like a dub that was done, like, almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Like, it's so well, it holds up so well. The only one aspect that I would have, I do have an issue of, is that, there are clearly characters of color that are not played by people of color. And had this dub been done in 2020, I think that those, even though I really like all those performances, maybe they would have been just as well done by somebody who is a person of color, as well. Like, I'll give another example of this because we don't talk video games. And I know it's a video game that's very near and dear to Steph and I's heart now.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Fire Emblem.
I really love Ben Lipley and Griffin Burns as Dedue and Cyril, but those are very clearly characters of color, and they are not played by people of color. So, but here's the thing: I really like the performances, though. I think they're fantastically and well put together. But actors of color should have been afforded that. Going back to the rest of like how good this is, like, and there are people of color in the cast, but it's complicated. But there is so much to love about the scripting of this, because this is a show that has a lot of, it's heavy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like Southern pound cake heavy. Or like the amount of butter Paula Deen puts into food heavy.
Oh god.
Southern pound cake with buttercream frosting heavy.
There we go.
With another pile of sugar dumped on top.
Yes.
And a lot of these actors would have to do these very long soliloquies that are very, very, very stagey and very, very, like, prosy, but a lot of them do it very naturally. There are a couple times where you can feel people having to, like, break in, like, kind of mold into their characters, but by the end of the show, like, you're so invested in the performance of these, and for a show that has a lot of very poignant death scenes in it,
oh boy.
those actors handle it well, especially Toboy. Like everybody always talks to the Toboy death is like the by far the hardest one to do, and I could see why. Also, I think the mixing on this comes off really weird. There's a bunch of weird laser sounds, the sounds of like wolves and dogs growling and howling, animal noises.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I love the shit out of this, and I think the scripting is done really well too. And honestly, if I had to pick like what my favorite Mary Elizabeth McGlynn dub is based on like all of the Mary Elizabeth McGlynn dubs I've seen, this is my favorite now.
Yeah.
I think this is actually kind of a better dub than Bebop, and I'm gonna get shit for that.
Bebop wasn't perfect because you occasionally had like the odd background character who didn't sound all that great. This one was more. This one was more consistent, polished and consistent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because we're not talking about him, I want to talk about the guy who plays the fucking owl.
Okay.
I think his name's like Joe Ogden or something.
Okay. I don't have him listed right now.
That guy's performance is fucking creepy, and I love it.
Yes. We all wanted to punt the owl into the sun.
That fucking owl, man. It is terrifying. It is so creepy, and just, it's just a really good job. Also, I really like the way that the mix went to the, amazing soundtrack that the show has.
Oh, of course. The soundtrack is amazing. It's Yoko Kanno, bitches.
Like, this is my favorite Yoko Kanno score. I'd also like to point out that if you want to see a really good cut of, like, the music and the acting in the show, the Funimation trailer for the show is fantastic, by the way.
Oh, totally is.
Yeah,
Joe Ackerman is the owl, you're right.
Yeah, shout out to the trailer team. But yeah, no, really great on the direction and script writing. Absolutely loved it.
Hardy, how about you? What are your thoughts on director and writer?
If I had to describe this dub in 2 simple words,
Okay.
it's star-studded.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you are correct.
You just looking at the basic cast, this has, at the time that it was recorded, probably the, what's the word?
The creme de la creme.
The creme de la creme, or the, basic standard of anime VAs. And I don't think that there is a bad casting choice or bad performance here. I think everything was perfectly cast, and it set forth an example of what dubs need to be. Now, if I had any criticisms of it, it's that it might be too star-studded, and it didn't really have any new talent in there. But I think the overall quality is just top rated. I think it belongs on any top 10 list of greatest dubs of all time. Not necessarily at 1. I wouldn't put it at 1. But it would be in the top 10, definitely.
Okay.
This might just be me as far as the script goes. I think it might have gotten a little bit too prosy at times, but then again, I think the show itself gets too prosy at times. And I'll get back into that when we discuss final thoughts about my feelings on the show as a whole. But there were a lot of questions that just didn't get answered, and sometimes the script kind of made things confusing. It sounds really nice, and everyone sounds great, and everyone reads great. But a lot of the stuff, maybe it's just me, the fact that I didn't watch this when it first came out, and I'm watching it now at 2020 for the first time. Yeah. A lot of it just kind of went over my head. And I think that might be one of the purposes of the show, is to kind of go over people's heads and just overwhelm them and make them think. But that's only my main concern about the writing. The acting and directing was phenomenal. I don't think Mary Elizabeth McGlynn has ever directed a bad dub. I mean, she even made Glitter Force sound good. But
damn, girl.
Yeah. No. But yeah, that's all I have to say as far as directing and writing.
So I'm actually going to agree with the point of, I think this is a better dub than Cowboy Bebop. If Cowboy Bebop is the dub that kind of paved the way, like, is the starting point of what dub should be sounding like, I think Wolf's Rain definitely helped solidify it a hell of a lot more.
Are you saying that Cowboy Bebop crawled so that Wolf's Rain could walk?
Fuck
or run
yeah, I am.
to paradise.
Run to paradise. This dub walked so that this bitch can run. Anyway, yeah, so I love the direction of the show. I don't have an issue with any of the cast. I mean, to Megan's point, yeah, I do see, because there are a couple of characters of color, having actors of color playing those characters would help. But I think we don't know what the circumstance of like 2004 2005 was, and like what the talent pool was, or what methods were being done in terms of the casting. So we don't know, so we can't say if maybe there wasn't anyone available or if something else was happening. We don't know. If the show was dubbed like now, then absolutely they should have actors of color portraying like Sumi and Blue.
I'd also point out that if the show came out today, that like most of the anime community would fucking hate it.
Oh my god, the anime community, like,
it's slow, it's very political.
I think
it's very dark.
We were briefly talking about this before we started recording. Like, I think it might be a generational thing. Like, our generation, like, we love shit like this, but like new anime fans might just, some will appreciate it. Some people will appreciate it, but I think a lot of people who are very heavy on like the action and the shonen and all this fun stuff, they will be just like, the fuck? Like, I'm imagining people are losing their garbage at wondering what the fuck Paranoia Agent even is.
Or Lane. Imagine them watching Lane in this day and age.
Listen,
Toonami, Adult Swim put fucking Lane on Toonami.
Present
God
day,
damn it. Fucking
present
cowards.
time. I haven't seen Lane yet, so don't judge.
I have not seen the entirety of Lane. I've been trying to.
I have
always
never
end up
seen
halfway.
Lane, and I've met the guy who fucking created it.
I know, me too. He's so sweet. He's such a sweetheart. Anyway, directing wise, I absolutely loved it. The casting was phenomenal. Like, so phenomenal. I don't think there's a performance in the entire show that I disliked or vehemently hated. There's at least one that took, like, one or two for adjustment purposes hearing it, because some of these characters are either like stiff or they seem a little stilted at times, mostly in the way of Cheza, actually, but I know there's reason behind it. Fucking Cheza.
I'd also like to when you're done, I'd like to read something from some other people I was talking to about this show.
You'll have to make it quick
That's
when I'm done.
interesting. Yeah.
You'll have to make it quick when I'm done. And writing wise, I can see the issues that Hardy was talking about with there being sometimes too much prose, but I think that's more on the fault of the show itself. Because, oh my god, it seems like I haven't watched the Japanese version at all, but I did watch some of the Blu-ray set I have has like cast and staff interviews, and I watched those, and they did also play like some clips and stuff, and it also seemed kind of prosy in the Japanese version from what I saw. So I think it's more of like trying to stay as close to that material as possible. So that might be why it seems a bit prosy at times. But there are the occasional weird pronunciations too. The occasional, very occasional, not that not horrible. Jagara being weird. I think I heard a Jagora at one point, and a Jagara most of the time, but like a Jagora at least once. So like some pronunciations of names were kind of a little bit weird. But otherwise than that, oh my god. This is also one of my favorite dubs ever, honestly. Like, it's so phenomenal. It has its subtleties, it has so much depth and complexity to it, and a lot of tender love and care went into this to make it just chef's kiss perfect. I love it, every single second of it. Megan, make your little thing brief.
So yeah, no, I was talking about this, and I want to give credit to Katie and Amon, who were talking about this, which Amon is like, I think the Wolf Strain dub might have been the first time I conscientiously recognized a voice actor I had heard in another dub.
Yeah.
And to which Katie had said, no, I'm sorry, not Kate. Yeah, Katie had said, what I think is so interesting about the dub versus the sub is how they took completely different approaches to casting the wolves. In the Japanese, they casted a bunch of unknowns. Well, unknowns at the time, Mamoru Miyano is, well, Mamoru fucking Miyano. Okay, to be fair, I did see Norio Wakamoto's name pop up in there. I was like, it's you!
Anyway.
And then, so Katie had pointed out that the dub has a lot of veterans, though. Oh, you can use that as the censor noise. Just click that moment out and use it.
Done. Go ahead.
Was a pretty new face. And Amon says, this makes me wonder in relation to the dubbing process that the Adult Swim deal had happened. I could potentially see them have casting a bunch of unknowns instead of going straight to VHS DVD, but TV deal, no way, they were going to get a bunch of big actors.
No, yeah, that's true.
Though I do find it really funny that this dub has a lot of similarities to casting to another dub that I did an episode on earlier this year called Last Exile.
Yes.
Which makes me wonder, though I believe they were recorded at two separate studios, because I think
Wolfsrain was from Animes.
And I think Last Exile is Bang Zoom.
Probably, it sounds right. Yeah, but yeah, this was recorded with Animes originally.
All I know
was
is
originally licensed by Bandai.
California.
Yeah. Anyway, are you good?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're gonna move on to our first set of characters. Yes.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about our only set of human characters in the show that act as major characters. Well, Darcia is human, technically.
Darcia.
We'll talk about Darshan in a minute. We're not talking about him now. We're going to talk about Quint Yaden, Cher de Grey, and Hub Lebowski. So Quint Yaden is a former sheriff of a small village called Curios, who is on the hunt to track down wolves as revenge for basically burning his home village down and, in the process, killing his wife and his son. He's a vengeful old man. Cher de Grey and Hub Lebowski, they are... Well, they were married. They got divorced. Cher is a doctor or professor, and she is the head researcher in charge of the project overseeing Cheza, the Flower Maiden. While Hub is a detective working in Free City, who eventually, after shit goes down, Cher disappears to go help find and recover Cheza after she's kidnapped. Hub basically gets fired from his job and goes to try and find her. And
being Hub Lebowski is suffering.
Being Hub Lebowski is suffering. Fuck.
He needs I think he needs a White Russian.
Oh, he needs 5 White Russians, that man. God,
is his
damn.
White Russian called Cher? I just thought of an awful joke about their entire relationship.
Oh, no.
Do you know what the theme song of their relationship is basically can be summed up as?
What?
If I could turn
I knew you were going to say it. I was going to say it, but I decided not to.
Fuck.
If I could find a way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then later on, it's, I got you, babe. Oh, no, I don't have you anymore.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
At least nobody died by running into a tree.
Oh, God. Anyway.
Amon is gonna come fucking hit me.
Anyway, so the individuals voicing these characters. Voicing Quint Yaden, we have Mr. Tom Weiner, who has voiced characters such as Devimon from Digimon Adventure, Goro Hoshino in Planetes, and Shogun in Hikaije. As Cher, we have Miss Kari Walgren, who if you don't know who Kari Walgren is, first of all, what's wrong with you? She has voiced characters such as Haruko in Fully Cooley. I can never get that right without being a tongue twister. Saya Otanashi and Diva in the series Blood Plus. And Kagami Hiragi.
Aniplex let it out of the vault! Aniplex let it out of the vault!
And Kagami Hiragi in Lucky Star. As for Hub Lebowski, we have Robert Bertels, who has voiced characters such as Paz in Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Zenki in the series Zenki, weird, and Ryu in the anime's dub of Akira.
He's also Gene Starwin.
Is he?
Yes.
How the fuck did I miss that?
Wait, what?
See,
You're telling me that the guy who directed Beastars is Jim's... What?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
I forgot that this is Robert
Fuck
Bush.
you.
Now I know. Okay, he does more directing stuff now. I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Fuck you.
Anyway,
You're
Hardy.
a liar.
Megan, sit down. Hardy, what are your thoughts on these performances?
Let's see. Let's start off with Bob Buckle. I don't know how his name is pronounced. Is it Bushels? Is it Buckholtz? I don't know. We need to actually find out how his name is properly pronounced, because we've probably been saying it wrong this entire time.
Oh my god, can we not talk about the pain that I went through? Remember when I re-listened to some of the early episodes and I mispronounced Clifford Chapin's last name?
Mm-hmm.
I cringed every fucking time I did that.
Or Justin Brenner.
Oh god, we were such babbies back then.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we need to put on our fedoras and get it right, and we need
Never again.
Well, actually, ourselves.
Oh man.
Anyway, yeah, we're more used to Bob these days directing than acting, so he hasn't really been in much recently. But he was probably one of the ones I had to work to get used to. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't, believe it or not, I didn't recognize him as Gene Starwind. It kind of took some time to get used to, but I think as the show goes along and Hub becomes more established as a character, it works a whole lot better towards the middle and end. As for Kari as Cher, this is the one, I knew it was Kari going into it, but she sounds very different from how she usually sounds. Like, Cher has more of a huskier voice. that you don't really you hear Kari use very often. She's usually used to playing these much younger, like teenage characters.
Or batshit crazy like Haruko.
Yeah. And so
Like peppy uppy.
hearing her play as this full-grown mature woman with this down sort of low-tone voice was a change for her. And I think she did it well. If I did not know going into it firsthand that I was Kari Wahlgren, I might not have been able to place her, and I know Kari Wahlgren when I hear her. So I think...
Oh, yeah, we all know what she sounds like at this point.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think, of course, she does a good job. Let's talk about Tom Weiner. And Weiner is a very appropriate actor for someone like Quint. Weiner. Because that man's liver is gone.
Oh, fuck, he's a heavy drinker. It's not even funny.
I mean,
I'm surprised he did. I'm surprised he had a brain injury, not a liver injury, by the end of that show. Holy
God,
shit.
you're right. Fuck.
yeah.
Oh, Quint.
That man drinks like a fish. But
And
yeah.
they said that Cher drinks like a fish at one point, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's that one point where like Cher and Quint are just drinking each other out under the table.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know who the other person is, obviously. Just so funny.
Right.
Anyway.
But here's my thing. This was probably my favorite performance in the entire show.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
really?
Yeah,
I'm going to
because-
ask the question of why.
He just nails being a stubborn, angry, just nothing left to lose, alcoholic, out for vengeance. Perfect.
Okay.
It's just, this is the quintessential. I couldn't see anyone else playing this character because he's just so grizzled and just done with it all. And he's just, if it wasn't for his blatant racism against wolves, Quint might actually have been my favorite character. Because,
Hey Hardy,
yeah.
would you say that Tom Weiner has the quintessential performance?
Oh! Don't leave me! Don't leave me!
I can't even be mad. Fuck.
Hardy, I owe you a beer, man. Dude, I owe you. Dude, we were supposed to actually have been hanging out this weekend, IRL.
We are, yeah, because Anime Blues Con.
Yeah, we were
Yep.
supposed to be together this weekend. I would have bought you a beer, but
Yeah.
oh fuck, man.
I swear to God, the next time all of us are actually together, shit's going down. We're gonna be having drinks
Dub
and gonna have a
Talk,
fun time.
Dub Talk is going to burn down a state. We're
Might
going
be-
to have the
It might be
party.
Michigan because I know we talked about going to Michigan. Whatever.
We're gonna have the party to end all parties, and we're probably going to have a goat there.
just for Hardy. to
Where did
fit.
you guys get the goat? I don't fucking know.
Like, no questions. Yeah.
This is Steve, man.
Yeah. But anyways, no, this is probably, if it wasn't for his, the obvious allegory to racism that Quint embodies, he probably would have been my favorite character because Tom just knocked it out of the park. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's what
Good.
I think.
All right. I'll go real quick on these. So, I will fully agree that Tom Weiner is fucking fantastic and is a crotchety, grumpy old man who does not have time for your bullshit. And is like, fuck you, wolves are real. Why are you not seeing this? Like, that's one of the things is like, everybody thinks he's fucking crazy. I was like, wolves went extinct. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like, bitch, no. Bitch, no. They are hiding. I'm gonna find those fuckers and I'm gonna kill them. Like, he's done. Like, he's done with this shit. And it's, oh man, Tom just portrays it so well. But I also really liked, something else I also really liked with Quint as a character is later on in the show, especially once we know about Blue, because we'll talk about Blue a little later on, and how he has to come to accept it as well, and he's like slowly accepting what's going on, and it's oh my god, you want to talk about the allegories to racism. Blue is a character of color, and oh lord, it's if you need a clear frickin' depiction or allegory to goddamn racism. Voila. But no, I really like how Quinn's character kind of does develop, and he becomes a little more accepting and soft. However, in the end, he also is like, this is what's best for these people. I should not be a part of this. Like, he legit, like, throws a temper tantrum about traveling with the wolves to paradise, fucking runs off, and, like, leaving everything behind. And as he's interacting with, I think it was Toboe, he's like, why should I go back? This isn't what I want. This isn't what I've been fighting for this whole time. And then when Blue comes up, it's like, but I'm not gonna do that to her. Like, he does still care. So it's very interesting how his character kind of develops throughout the course of the show. Kari as Cher, I also have to agree, this is very different than what we usually hear Kari as. Because we're used to the Haruko's, we're used to Saya, we're used to Kagami, we're used to the peppy, upbeat characters that have so much energy to them. And this is a lot more softer, a lot more subtle. I liked that you used the word husky, because I didn't think of that before. But that definitely describes Cher to a T. And she's just so knowledgeable and curious, like any researcher is, and it's very, very fun and interesting. And god damn it, I didn't expect Cher to be the first of them to die. I never expected the first time, and then I completely forgot, and when I watched it again, I'm like, fuck you.
And she's given an Aerith Gainsborough burial.
Oh, yep. She
Into
is.
the water with you.
Yep.
She can go hang out with the walrus.
God, fuck. The walrus is in the opposite direction. They're far from
The walrus
that.
has an off-colored Aerith body pillow.
What?
You said she got
What?
the Aerith Gainsborough death, so we just off-colored Aerith body pillow.
I don't even know what's going on right now. Ah, shit. Anyway, no, I really... God.
Wait, no. Cher's a blonde. That's a femme cloud body pillow.
Fuck. I fucking quit. I quit. Good night, everybody. No, but I really liked a lot of the subtleties that she gave to Cher. So very soft and gentle, and putting a lot of meaning and thought into every single word and every single action that Cher does in the show. And out of the human characters, I think she's my favorite of the three. And then for Hub. Oh, Hub. Oh, stupid Hub. Hub is very interesting. I mentioned it to the two of you last night. And I didn't think of this either, but when I watched the cast interviews that were done with the Japanese seiyuu, the seiyuu for Hub Lebowski actually said that he thinks that Hub is a representation of humanity's powerlessness and what's going on. And when you think about it in that perspective, it makes a lot of sense what Hub goes through.
He is kind of the butt monkey of the show.
He is. Like, well, not the comedic
How
butt monkey.
the fuck
but
did Hub make it that far?
through sheer fucking willpower and a desire for Cher. For desire for his ex-wife, sorry. Anyway, I also have to agree with Hardy that it actually took a bit. This is, aside from Cheza, Hub is actually the other character that it does take a bit for me to adjust to as well. Because, like, compared to some of the other performances, you have, like, a very, like, soft, subtle Kari. You have grouchy, grumpy Tom. You have all these other characters that we're going to talk about in a minute. And then there's Bob as Hub. And in the beginning, it seemed a little stilted at first, but I think that's more of, like, a growing pain situation. I will agree with you, Hardy, that, like, come middle of the show, it came across a lot better, and it definitely developed very much and was consistent and even grew through the end of the show. But yeah, oh man, I do love all three of these performances, but god damn it, all three of them, like, fuck, they bit the big one in horrible ways. God.
But
You have
Hub didn't even get to smoke his cigar.
No! Like, you have Cher, who basically
Life
fell off of
fucks
a...
Hub one more time.
Like, you have Cher, who basically ended up falling off of an icy cliff in a vehicle. You have Quint, who got shot by Darcia. And then you have Hub, who falls off of a
Long
damn
live the
ledge.
king!
He got Mufasa'd. Except there's no scar. He Mufasa'd himself, basically. Fell off a ledge and
Sume
died.
got to play Simba in that scene.
Simba. Sume played Simba. You're right. Fuck.
Means
Anyway.
Hub's gonna come out in the clouds and appear to them all. Sneezing. God damn it, allergic to clouds.
Do we forget that Hub is allergic to basically apparently everything?
My favorite part is when he's in the broker and the snake's there. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" "I'm allergic to snakes." And she's just like, "Uh-huh."
That was great. Anyway, Megan, what are your thoughts on the performances?
Holy shit, life just shits on Hub Lebowski. I gotta think, like, I'll get into the performance in a minute. I'm just wondering what the writing team in Japan's like, alright, we need a white guy name. Hub Lebowski. I got it, guys!
Jesus Christ.
Just
That
such
is
a
a
weird-
white-ass name. That's so true.
That sounds like something someone names their back Alabama cousin. No offense to the residents of Alabama, unless you're a racist. Then very much offense.
Here's what I'm understanding. Cher is Cher DeGray because she has a degree.
Oh, yeah?
God damn it!
And
Fuck, you're
Hub
right.
Hub is because he's her husband,
Oh, no.
and I don't know about
And-
Quint. So
Because he's drinking a quint of alcohol?
No, he's quintessential to the show as the vengeful,
yeah,
vengeful man.
Quint is your racist grandpa.
Oh my god. Fuck.
Quint your fucking racist grandpa, man.
Anyway.
I'll start with Cher. Like, even I took a minute for it to think that's Kari Walgren, because again, I'm used to the younger sounding Kari Walgren characters. Saya, Lavi, Haruko. I don't think I've ever heard Kari actually play a character this old before.
Even
Like,
recently?
Yeah, even recently. I don't think I've listened to her in any. God, no.
You
the
heard her
oldest-
as a crazy ass fucking mage or some shit in SAO recently.
I didn't
she was
watch
older.
that. I didn't watch that episode.
You didn't?
No, I was
shit.
working through that.
Oh yeah.
No, I only saw the last couple episodes where Koi rips his eye out.
I don't suppose Saber would count, would she?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Saber is probably the only one. But even then, Saber's not as husky.
Right.
It's true.
Saber still has like a kind of a youthful, because the whole thing is that Saber's the king of. But like it's like the boy who would be king, except for it's a girl.
Yeah.
And the less I talk about the weird fucking mythology and fate, the better. We'd be here for a while. I don't need to bring up homunculus sperm.
Please don't. We're not gonna go that route today.
So no, but I really liked her, and I really like this like sense of vulnerability, questioning, and just like odd acceptance to the state of the world by the end of it.
Yeah.
Where she also kind of has a motherly tone for Sheza.
Yes.
And it's really interesting that when she's dying, Quint talks to her about, like, having a house full of kids, a white bird, breaking bread all the time. And I'm like, you have a daughter. She's just a flower.
Yep.
And Kari's performance is really moving. I also took a little while to get used to Bob as Hub, but by the end of it, like, I was like, Hub, how the fuck are you the last human standing, buddy?
Yes.
Hub,
how? We love you, but how?
Hub's. I think one of my favorite lines of delivery he has is when he's in the truck and she's just like, "You haven't sneezed. Oh, maybe I've developed an immunity to it." That's not. Yeah, you know what, honey? Yes, you did.
It's like, you know what? Fuck it. It's probably
fuck
not
it.
what happened.
She's just like, at this point, no, like, you can just like hear it in her tone of voice where she's like, "Well, weirder shit has happened."
It's true. Weirder shit has
these,
happened.
These last few weeks have been weird. I really liked him. I think he was probably maybe the weakest, though, of the three humans. But man, Tom Weiner as Quint. Hardy nailed it.
Yeah.
Where he's just this right level of stubborn old goat, and you, for a long part of the show, you don't feel any apathy. You don't feel any, like, softness for him until they start to try to peel back those layers.
Yeah.
Like, when, after Darsh's keep gets blown up by Jaguar, Toboe, they find him in the snow, and he's dying, but Toboe lays with him and licks his tears. And you just hear him, like, kind of in this broken voice calling for his son, because he thinks it's his son laying with him.
Yep.
And he's got this very, like, old, kind of grumpy ass man attitude that I'm with Hardy. I don't think anybody else could ever play him but Time Weiner in English. I could never see, like, Kent Williams or Bruce Elliott or anybody else, like, match up to that.
No, yeah.
It is probably one of the best older male performances I think I've ever seen in a dub. Like, it's so good. I wouldn't call it my favorite performance in the dub. Like, I think if you know me, everyone's gonna guess who my favorite performance in the dub is when we get to them.
Yeah.
But he's just so good. And I think when he finally dies, and he's brain damaged, he's cold, and he just, I think, or his last words are "good girl" to Blue?
No, it wasn't. I don't remember his exact last words, because at that point, Quint was huddled up with Toboe.
Right, and I just remember him just kind of, like, petting Toboe in death, and...
Oh, no, the realization that he finds out that it was Toboe who saved him in the snow.
So...
That's what killed me.
And that Toboe, just, like, where he's like, oh, like, just kid, and it's like... That entire scene is just so hard, and he nails it so well.
Legit, we're gonna probably say this quite a few times. The last 4 episodes of the show will fucking hurt. For me, it started with Cher, like, just a little bit of tears and everything like that. When it got to Toboe and Quint, I was gone. And I think I was gone until, like, partway through the last episode when I didn't have any more tears to cry. But still, it hurts. It really does. But, are you all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so... Jesus Christ. Oh, we're ready to move on to our next set of characters, and fucking hell. Oh, boy. So we're gonna talk about essentially our villains of the show. So we have Jaguda. She is a noble... She's a noble and is trying to do some shit to open paradise for the nobles, yada yada yada. Well, I'm guessing Jaguda is going to be a brief conversation, but the reason why she's also here is she does play a bit of a key role, because we have also Lord Darshia III. This fucking asshole.
This dick.
This asshole. Fucking hell. So Darshia is also a noble. He comes from a family line. Darshia I is actually the original person who created Cheza through an advanced alchemy. He wrote the Book of the Moon, which is considered a banned, like, pagan novel of sorts.
It's like a Bible of sorts.
Essentially, yeah, but they think it's like pagan mythology bullshit, so they banned it. But the key part with it for Darshia is Darshia I was cursed by paradise, and that curse continued into his family line, going into Darshia III. And Darshia III, our Darshia here, so he has a lover named Hamina, and Hamina is cursed by what's called paradise sickness, where her soul essentially gets stolen by paradise, and he's doing what he can to get it back. But, plot twist, Hamina's older sister Jaguda fucks that shit up, and then Darshia just basically slowly but surely loses his fucking mind. Oh, boy.
And he has a weird eyeball, too.
Wolf's eye.
Wolf's eye. Yep, that's part of the curse. Side note, it's also not made clear in the show who specifically, but it's believed that the Darshia family is responsible for the death and the destruction of the village of Curios, Quint's home village. Side note. But anyway, the individuals voicing these characters as Jagara, we have our ADR director, Miss Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, who has voiced other characters such as Major Motoko Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Noriko in Fushigi Yugi, as well as Maurice and Misha in Eureka 7. As for Darshia, this is about to be a fun conversation.
Man, the myth, the legend.
The man, the myth, the legend himself. Spike Spiegel of Cowboy Bebop, Roger Smith of Bago, Makoto Shishuo in Rurouni Kenshin. We have the one and only Steve Bloom. Oh, boy. Oh, I don't even know where to start with this. Who wants to start?
Fuck it, I'll go. I'm already talking.
Go.
Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. I was wondering where the fuck she was gonna pop up in this show.
She's only in like 5 episodes.
No, I was like waiting for her to pop up. I was like, you're always in your own dubs.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, she was fantastic and creepy as Jagara, who clearly has the hots for Darsha and is mad at her twin about it. Like her just delivery of, if Hamina was the light and I was the shadow and I was happy about that. So good.
Yes.
She is just on her A game being this creepy, satanic, like, worship woman.
Yeah.
Where, like, oh god, like, Jagawa's keep is creepy as fuck, guys. Like, she's doing blood ritual arts in the cellar. She's got wolves stuffed in jars.
Yep.
We haven't even touched her outfit yet.
Char Autoblaze over here. No, it's Char Autoblaze at a BDSM conference.
Yeah, it's Aznable, actually.
What?
It's Aznable. Aznable.
Sorry. Aznable at the BDSM conference.
It's the new
She's got like a fucking spiked cod piece.
It's apocalyptic chic. Get with the times, God.
What the hell is the guy who made Mad Max?
Oh, I have no clue.
I don't know.
I'm gonna Google his name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get hit in the face.
She looks like she just came straight from the Fist the North Star cosplay meetup.
She came from beyond Thunderdome.
She drove down Fury Road.
Yeah, George Miller. She looked like she walked out of George Miller's house. And she sounds like it too.
Yep, it's true.
Like, holy shit, man. If they ever made a live action Wolverine, she better be played by What's-Her-Nuts from Fury Road.
Charlize Theron?
Charlize Theron.
Yeah! Dude! Charlize Theron is Jaguar, man!
Oh my god, her as Jagara would be, oh man. Oh, sweet lord. I'd be down. I'd be down for this.
Please do not make a live action Wolverine. The show is great as it is animated. I'm just saying, just Charlize Theron in a Jaguar cosplay.
Oh man. Oh hell yeah.
No, but she's just really good and really freaky, and just her like my paradise, and she's got this kind of weird teenage girl love struck shit to her, but she's also a teenage girl who stabbed a sword into her lover that was filled with poison.
If I can't have you, no one
can.
Yeah.
If my sister is dead, her soul is gone. That's why I nuked her body.
Yeah, and
love.
She even she crucified Darsha's servant.
Yep.
Yeah, she did.
Did.
Who I swear to God that was Felice Sampler.
No, it's actually Leah Sargent.
Okay.
It's Leah Sargent.
Oh, that's really funny. That's really funny then. That's Leah Sargent. No, but man, I'm like imagining Jaguar sitting there like the fucking. Is it Basic Instinct where the girl's in the interrogation and she's got no pants on?
Yes.
On?
Yes.
Yeah, like
Instinct.
Jaguar's just doing that to Darsha. Like, why don't you want to fuck me? It's like, maybe because you're a fucking psycho.
Oh, God.
And then, but Mary Elizabeth McGlynn walks the line, but she never makes her too campy.
No, yeah.
Which is great. And speaking of never making things too campy, holy shit, Steve Bloom. Steve is known for playing as many villains as he is as many heroes.
Oh, absolutely.
And Darcia is just creepy as shit. Like, he's got this level of refinement to him, but once you get to the end where Darcia's just unhinged and doesn't give a shit anymore, he is just, like, makes you want to cry scary, man. Like,
oh, man.
Just, like, the part where he finally turns into a wolf.
Yes.
And I want to give so much credit to the Bones animation team. Is that the close-ups of Wolf Darcia's face, where he's got the dead blue eye and the golden eye, and they're, like, going wide, and you can just hear Steve losing it as an actor. But
the grin that his wolf self has as he's just laughing maniacally.
It's so fucking scary, man. Oh, that freaked me out. But Steve is so good, and I love when he's just talking about how much he wants Hamina back, and how he... But it's such a weird, layered performance. And it's hard to just sit, it's like, okay, well, this is really good, but I can't explain why it's really good. It just is, because Steve just brings this level of care and expertise to the performance.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's all I've got to say.
Hardy, did you want to go next, or you want me to go next?
You can go next. I'm still parsing my thoughts.
Okay. I'm gonna start with Jagata. Because, I completely forgot that Jagata's only in the show for, 5 episodes, and it's, basically in the end game of the series itself. Not the OVA, but the series itself. So, there's not a lot for Jagata to do, but what Mary gets to do, oh, sweet baby Jesus. Mary is just, where are my notes on her? Mary is just, she has, she seems like a very regal, and kind of graceful figure, but, at first, but then when you go into it a bit more, and you start peeling back those layers like an onion, you start seeing that she's a little bit more kooky than what
Ogres are like onions.
Ogres are like onions.
Wolves, get out of my swamp!
Shit. No, but you can see there's so many complex layers to her, and I think one of the points that kind of creeps me out a little bit for her is when she first did that little twirling dance thing that she does and just starts laughing it's like, oh boy, you creepy. She's creepy, she's obsessed, and it doesn't go to the full point of camp or overly creepy, yes, you're my precious, that kind of deal. She believes she's in the right, and that's what's creepy and scary about it. And the fact that she knows in her mind that she's in the right, and this is why she's doing it, and she's absolutely right, this is how it should go, that's what's terrifying about it. And I think Mary does phenomenal, even with it just being 3-4 episodes for her. She did phenomenal with it. But, oh boy. I love Steve Bloom. I love him to fucking pieces. Holy hell. Darcia is just, oh god. Darcia is all over the place. But at the same time, what's interesting is because Darcia slowly mentally breaks down and it gets crazier and obsessive and by the minute. But, and this is, I really have to give Steve kudos to this, he's so controlled. He has so much control over the tone of voice and the emotions that you can still slowly see all of this weighing him down and him just slowly losing his grasp on everything. And it's just so fascinating to watch. He's, in the beginning, he's very calming and kind of a chilling tone to him. And when we start learning more about Darcia and all this fun stuff. But then, where it definitely flips the switch was when he discovers Jagara killed Homina. And that scream of pain he has. That scream of pain that he has. I think it was, what did I write down? Episode 12. That hurt. And then it was from that point on was when it was just like slowly but surely degrading and mentally just like tumbling downhill on this road, and it's just so chilling and captivating, and I love every goddamn second of it. This is like legit, like watching this over again, this is one of my favorite villains in an anime series. Like, and Steve's portrayal of him is just so fantastic, and you can't look away. That by the time you get to the last episode, and he is a wolf now, and it's just, that's the point where he absolutely fucking lost it. Like, he still has that some amount of control to him that he's not going completely batshit, but he's like, he has this maniacal laughter, and he's just like, oh my god, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to paradise. This is gonna be what happens. Oh my god. And then he fails, and he's like, you know what? If I can't go there, fuck all of y'all. And he ruins it for everybody. But, no, like, this performance and this character is just so captivating, and Steve just portrays it. Oh, it's masterclass work on this one, I think. Just watching Darshia slowly degrade and just go downhill. Oh, I get chills every freaking time. It's fantastic. But anyway, yeah, Darshia, holy fuck. I'm done. Hardy, what do you think of Steve and Mary's performances?
Well, at least in the real world, Jagara actually won. So.
That's true.
Yep.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I couldn't say it any better than you two have already said. I don't think I've ever heard a bad performance from either of these actors. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I have listened to the original old Guyver dub, and let's just say Steve was the best thing about that thing.
Oh, God.
But yeah, for as little as Jagara is actually into the dub in the show itself, I think Mary did an absolutely perfect job. She just nails that perfect level of creepiness and authority and arrogance that Jagara is known for. And like you already said, I'm kind of critical of Darshia as a character because after he lost his lover, it seemed like he really didn't have a purpose anymore, and he was just trying to go to take paradise out of spite. And the way he just dicks around all the other characters, and for some reason he leaves Cher alone. He doesn't bother with her.
He leaves Cher alone.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but no, it's just.
I feel like the reason he does that too is because he has a weird. I would like to think it's because he has a weird attraction to her, because he was there's a part earlier on in the series where they just spend time with each other, and he lets her learn all about Cheza.
Yeah, because I think that's also because she wants to know the truth. She wants to know what she has a fascination with what Cheza actually is, what is reality, and what compared to like what she's been told all these years. So I think Darshia has a weird soft spot in like wanting to let her learn. So.
Also, Hardy, just to your point, I think that's why Darshia works as a villain. The whole idea that he's doing it all out of spite. It's the point that he is no better than the humans that he thinks he is better than.
Ah, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, he calls humans like sullied for paradise.
That at the end
they're beasts that they just keep tearing each other down, and that they won't do anything like the way that the wolves left them. But in that same time, he's doing everything that he thinks that he is beyond human, when he himself is probably the most human of them all.
The most flawed, but
yeah,
Darshia may be a flawed character, but Steve's performance was flawless. If you, mean, it's Steve Bloom, it's Steve M.F. Bloom. What can you say at this point? So
Yeah, really, so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, I think some of his best roles have been villainous, like Makoto Shishio or Jake Martinez from Tiger and Bunny. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, so are we good to move on?
Yes.
It's time. It's time to talk about the best doggos ever.
Yes.
The best doggos.
Because if this show has taught you anything, it's that super advanced cyborg weaponry is nothing compared to a large doggo.
Who would win? Large technologies and laser beams, 4 angry dogs.
I mean, if we want to get technical,
5 angry dogs. 5 angry doggos.
3 of which we're going to talk about next.
Who would win? A giant fucking demon walrus, 1 small wolf.
Toboe. And on this day, Toboe became a man.
Yes.
Bit his fucking eyeball.
Anyway, speaking of Toboe, so the next 3 characters we're going to talk about, we have Hige, Toboe, and we're actually going to talk about Blue. We're not talking about Tsume just yet. Blue, we kind of mentioned this a little bit before when talking to Quint, but to be 100% on who she is, she actually was taken in by Quint's family when his son Roos found her as a pup. She later on, from Cheza, finds out that she has some wolf blood in her. Once she learns that, she's able to become human just like the other wolves, and she joins up with them. And she has a little romance with Hige, essentially. It's kind of adorable. But she also doesn't take shit from anyone. It's fantastic. Toboe is the runt of the pack. He also spent most of his life being raised by a human. An old woman who took care of him as a pup as well, until she died accidentally by Toboe.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Toboe, I can't. You gotta get off me. Anyway.
I was so sad. I was like, oh no, he killed his owner.
Yeah. I forgot that was a thing that happened. I'm like, oh, Toboe.
And he killed her with love.
He killed her with love. I don't know if that's poetic or just sad at this point. Anyway, Toboe is considered the runt. He's considered the babby of between the 4 main wolves, and he goes. He's a very interesting character. Hige, oh boy, Hige. In the beginning and through the entirety of the show, pretty much, Hige is very, he kind of is self-centered, very funny, and very much a fatty McFatterson.
He hangry.
Porky.
He Porky. He's
Porky.
Sume calls him Porky. Lovingly, no. Just out of spite, usually. But we don't actually know, because we don't know anything about Hige's story until we get to Jagada's Keep, where we actually find out that Hige was essentially brainwashed, forgot his memories, and was tasked with a mission, essentially, to lure other wolves back to Jagada's Keep, so that way her soldiers can capture them and kill them. Hige not knowing this, because again, memories wiped away, essentially, or false memories planted into his head. And yeah, that's a whole fucking thing. Anyway, in terms of voicing who voices these characters, as Blue, we have Miss Jessica Strauss, who has played characters such as Gidget in Rebecca 7, Lyra in Mega Man Star Force, and Elena in Gun X Sword. As Toboe, yes, Mona Marshall, who has voiced characters such as Motoko Aoyama in Love Hina, Ascot in Magic Knight Rayearth, and Izzy, of course, from Digimon. And speaking of Digimon, as Hige, we have Joshua Seth, who's voiced Tai in Digimon Adventure, Dio Heracles in Last Exile, and Sparky in Speed Racer. Hardy, what are your thoughts on these characters?
Boy, you'd never thought you'd ever hear Juri from Street Fighter 4, was it Tetsuo from Akira, and the mayor from South Park all in the same dub.
What?
I kid you not.
You need to explain this to me real quick.
Yeah.
I know the Tetsuo part.
No, Mona Marshall.
Wait, no.
Mona Marshall played the female mayor from South Park for like the first few seasons.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I am dead as I am. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
Oh my god, I didn't know this.
She's also officially the voice of Doraemon if that dub ever sees the light of day.
Anyway.
Yeah, and I just recently, because I had no idea who Juri's voice from Street Fighter 4 was, and I just recently found out it's Jessica Strauss.
Oh my god. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we have Tetsuo!
Tetsuo!
Kaneda! Ah!
Oh, Kaneda. Oh boy. Weird irony. Never mind. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, Mona Marshall needs no explanation. She's pretty much just an icon at this point for playing little boy characters.
Uh-huh.
And so I can see she did an absolutely great job of the performance. I think Toboe might be a little bit older and therefore might have worked possibly better with a male actor, like a younger male actor.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's pretty much a legend at this point at playing that type of character, and Toboe could be annoying to a point until he has this big walrus fight and his balls drop.
He becomes a man.
He becomes a man, yes. But man.
God damn.
But yeah. I think she needs no explanation. She plays this type of character, has played this type of character for years now, and she's always done a really great job. So, Jessica Strauss does not have very many voice credits or major ones under her belt. She hasn't done a whole lot of. She does mainly background characters. So it was good to hear her play something more meaty for a change. And Blue only really. Blue doesn't get her transformation until like the second half of the show.
Yes.
And so, but when she does show up, I think there's this sort of sweetness to her because she's not feral like the others are. She's more domestic, and so she's got this sort of sweetness to her voice, to where yes, she'll rip your throat out, but she'll also nuzzle your neck as well because she's a dog. She's half a half. And
she's half-breed, yep.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really liked hearing Jessica, and I wish she'd play more meatier roles like Blue. And Joshua Seth as Hige, it wasn't until he came back for Digimon that I really wish that he hadn't largely quit voice acting.
Right.
Yeah, because I like hearing him in more of these sort of mature roles, and I didn't grow up with Digimon, so I don't really have the attachment that a lot of other people do. So yeah, I really would like to hear more of Joshua Seth in the future. I know he's largely retired except for Digimon. He will come back to play as Tai, but yeah, I enjoyed hearing him as Hige, and I wish I could hear more from him as these type of roles.
Go watch Last Exile.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Last Exile is another good example of a rather mature role for Joshua Seth.
Dio is wild.
Yeah.
Dio is, oh my god. I need to rewatch Last Exile, and I need to get Andrew to watch it with me, because he's actually never seen it.
Last Exile Dio is superior to JoJo's Dio.
Sadly, he got replaced by Greg Ayers in the sequel dub, but it's all good.
I know.
Yeah.
Sad face. Anyway, Megan.
Okay, cool. So I'll start with Jessica Strauss as Blue. I thought she did a really good job. I liked her soft-spoken aspect. I really like how she straight up calls out Hige for his shit.
Oh yeah, it's great. She doesn't take any bullshit.
I love when her and Cher are like having their girls road trip in the car. She's like, "Oh, that sexist asshole." About Hige, and I'm just like, this dub would come out in today's day, and there's like a group of chuds who are like, "Oh, don't put your politics in my anime." And
there would also be a group of women who'd be like, "Yes, queen."
Yes, yes, I'm one of them. Yes,
queen.
God, Blue is so good. I love when they're in Jagawa City and those two guys try to hit on her.
Oh man.
And Cher, and she's just like, "You're not worth my time." But she's got like this. You want to know what I also really like about the tone of her voice?
What?
It feels like she has a little bit of a country accent to it.
Yes. Okay. Yep. I hear it.
Like, she's got that kind of, like, sweet, not city girl voice where it's like, shucks, I came from the farm, you know, Pops. And God, her interactions of just whenever she's talking about, like, Pops and being with Hige, because you can see their romance coming, it's just so good.
Yep.
I really, again, I'm with Hardy. I would really like to hear Jessica Strauss in more meatier roles. Mona Marshall.
Oh, Mona Marshall.
Toboy's death is the one that I've always been warned. Like, that's where everybody fucking loses their shit.
Yeah, it's true.
And, like, I have a really good friend, we have a really good friend of ours, M. Deller, who has openly stated that the first time she, like, I think super hard weeped at an anime, it was Toboy's death.
Yeah.
And I agree with Hardy. Sometimes I do wonder what Toboy would have sounded like if they had a male actor. As weird as it sounds, I feel like if this would have come out in today's day, that would have been a character played by Bryce Papenbrook.
You know, it probably would have.
I'm like, that's a Bryce Papenbrook character. But Mona is so iconic, like Hardy said, in these roles. And she nails Toboy's innocence, his anxiety, his adorableness. But fuck, man, I have never had her make me cry. Like, not even Digimon as a kid made me cry. And there's a lot about Izzy's story that, like, really helped me out when I was a younger kid.
Yeah.
But Toboy taking the bullet and walking to Quint, and you can just hear how soft and whispery Mona's performance is. Because Toboy is dying. And it's just like, oh no, I don't like this.
Yep.
I don't like where this is going.
Because Toboy is also one of the first of the wolves to die.
Toboy is the first wolf to die.
Yep.
He's the first member of the pack to die.
It was Toboy, then Blue, then Hige.
Hige, then Sume,
Sume.
then Kiba, and then Kiba.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kiba dies last.
Yep.
But just... fucking Mona just absolutely destroyed me in that moment.
Yeah.
And I was just, like... I was crying. Like, her performance drove me to tears.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of driving me to tears, it is no secret that I really like Joshua Seth as an actor. Joshua Seth has been, like, around me watching anime since I was a kid, and I've actually met him once, and I would love to meet him again to sign my copy of Wolfstern and Last Exile, because if his performance as Tai is really good and iconic, I think he should be more remembered for his performance as Dio and especially Hige. Mm-hmm. He is almost flawless as Hige. He is my favorite performance in the show. Big surprise. Big surprise that Megan's favorite performance and character is Hige. Mm-hmm. Hige is such a weird character because you never actually get, like, full details on what his deal actually was.
Yep.
And even up until his last moments, he is so all over the place as this trickster character. He is the comic relief, he is the butt monkey, but he is also this tragic figure who's been used by society, and he's got to do these moments where they're in Jagawa City, and he's going crazy with the cameras on him and the sound. And he's the only wolf that gets, like, an actual romantic arc. And he's got to carry that, and Josh nails it in all of his performances. But when Blue and Hige die, it is just... I think it actually hit me harder than Toboe, actually. Mm. Like, Mona killed me, but just... him just petting her hair and Jessica's delivery of "it feels so good." Yep. And his blood is dripping down her head because Darsha hit his throat, and he ripped her throat out. And then when he gets, and Sume finds him, and he's just like, you gotta kill me.
Yep.
And Josh's delivery of having this... he has dignity in Hige's voice at his death, but he's also able to get the humor across of Hige's, like, I'm gonna crack jokes up until I fucking die.
Yep.
And I thought Josh did phenomenal, and again, like, I love Digimon to bits. I am with Hardy. I wish he would come out of retirement to do other shit.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to hear him in, like, if there was a way, like, they could get him into, like, My Hero, or of something.
Oh my god!
I would
imagine him in My Hero.
I would love to have him somehow get into My Hero, or have Mona get into My Hero.
Oh please,
Wait.
Colleen.
Pl-
Colleen,
Colleen,
please.
Colleen, I know you're not listening, but
Please, Colleen.
but like, oh my god, it's so good. And now I'm looking up who was Hige's Seiyu, because I feel like he had a really...
I would just like to make a correction. I was wrong. Mona Marshall did not play the mayor from South Park. She played Kyle's mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
There we go.
That
What?
makes
What?
sense. Oopsie-daisy. Good job, Hardy.
Yep.
You just fedora, actually yourself just now.
Yep.
Old jokes that we never use anymore.
It's really funny. I'm actually looking it up, but Toboe and Hige's sub voice actors don't do as much as their English just like their English counterpoints.
Huh.
Don't do too much anymore.
Interesting. Anyway, so
You're up, Steph.
I know. I got this, guys. Blue. Jessica's Blue is... Of course, we don't get to actually meet her or hear Jessica until about halfway through or so. And boy, Jessica is just so chill and sassy, and she gives zero fucks. Like, she's all nice in a nice tone and a very fun dynamic with the boys. Like, she's just one of the boys, but like, she's also the kind of girl who will choke a bitch. She's like, don't you touch my dad, don't you touch my man, I will cut a bitch. Like, it's kind of fun and interesting. Like, I don't really know anything for Jessica outside of Blue, actually. Probably like very minor roles. But no, but I do love her as Blue. She's just very calming and relaxing. She's a no-nonsense character. Doesn't put up with anyone's shit, especially Hige. She does not put up with Hige's stupid, like, sexist bullshit, and it's fantastic, and I love every second of it. Mona Marshall is Toboe. It's interesting how Megan had said that Blue has, like, a sweet, like, country tone to her, because, like, she's been with Quint and raised by humans the whole time. Toboe is kind of similar in that regard. He has a very nice, light tone to him. And I would probably also attribute that to the fact that he's been raised by humans his whole time, and that's the only thing he's ever known. Toboe is also just has a big heart, and he just has a love for companionship, and is just he's so naive, so naive, and he's named the runt of the pack for a reason. He doesn't understand how anything works. But god damn it, he tries so hard. Toboe tries so fucking hard. And Mona just gives off that naivete, that like sweet glimmer of hope that Toboe has. Toboe has so much joy and so much hope to him. And he believes, like, we're gonna make it. We're gonna get to paradise. And he does have these moments where he does question everything. Like, there was the point where they were trying to find Kiba while he was high as balls.
I'm doing peyote in the desert, boys!
He's high as fuck. And Toboe almost essentially decides to leave the pack to stay with this group of humans, this traveling group of essentially Native Americans, natives, just so he can stay with them and be safe. But not only that, he doesn't want to cause problems for the others, because he knows he can be a bit of a burden to them, because he doesn't know anything and he kind of struggles at times. But Mona just portrays a lot of these aspects of Toboe's character so well, and it hurt. Toboe made me hurt so much when he suddenly just bites it because Quint's an idiot.
Because Quint tries to shoot Darcia.
Quint tries to shoot Darcia. Tellboy wants to be valiant and helpful, and then nope. He did. But yeah, he's just so sweet and sympathetic and just hopeful. But he also has this naivete, and I think Mona portrays that so well, and I loved every second of it. Oh, Hige. Oh, Hige. Stephanie, 5 or 6 years ago when she did her review, if I remember right, named Sume as her favorite performance of the show. Stephanie in 2020 wants to now proclaim that Hige is her favorite performance of the show. Sume is a close second, but we'll talk about Sume in a minute. Joshua's performance is just so... There's so many layers to these characters, and Hige is no exception. Hige is the funny one. He's the butt of the joke. He's the fat kid, basically. But he's the womanizer. There's so many things on the surface, but he's also very, very complex, and he's basically tormented by this society, and he's a product made of this society that hates wolves and wants them to go extinct. And it's actually kind of sad when that comes up, because you don't really expect it. You know, like, there's something about Hige that doesn't sit well, but you don't exactly know what it is. And Joshua just does such a phenomenal job just being this snarky little idiot who loves his food, who loves the pretty girls, who just is in it for funsies. He's pretty much in it for funsies. He's just kind of here because why the fuck not? But like Megan was saying, when he hurts. And it's like very poignant, and it comes across so well. And Sume being asked to put him down just hurt as well. The last 4 episodes hurt so much. They really do. But no, like, there's so much fun energy and charisma to Hige as a character, and Joshua portrays it so well. And I agree with both of you. I also wish that he would sometimes come back for more anime aside from Tai, because like, while Tai is the role that everybody knows him for and everybody's going to remember him for, I would remember him more for things like this rather than Tai. Like, he's a phenomenal actor, and I wish more people had the chance to see that. But no, all 3 performances are fun. I enjoy every single second of them. But yeah, Joshua Seth is probably my favorite performance of the entire show. Anyway, so I think we're good to move on. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, we got 3 characters left, but our next group has 2. We're going to talk about Sume and Cheza. So, Sume is another wolf. He's the gray wolf, and the best way to describe Sume is edgelord angry pants, I guess. Like, he's an angry shithead.
It's more like Sundarame.
Oh!
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
In stereo. Now in stereo.
And I would consider, if Kiba is, like, it's not distinguished, like, who the leader of this pack is. If Kiba is, like, the others find Kiba as the leader of the pack, Sume would be the second in command in the situation, I think.
Sort of like the beta, compared to Kiba's alpha wolf.
Yes.
Yes.
Sume is the beta in all this. And then Cheza is the aforementioned flower maiden. She was created by the Darcia family, Darcia the First, out of lunar flowers, and is supposed to help guide the wolves to paradise. So, playing these characters as Cheza, we have Sherry Lynn, who has voiced characters such as Hina Ichigo and Rosen Maiden, Sasami Masaki Jirai in Tenchi Muyo, wow, and Sakamoto in Dino 6's Fate Stay Night. As for Sume, yes, I love it when we get to talk about him sometimes. We have Crispin Freeman, who has been characters such as Alucard in Hellsing, Hideki Matsuo in Chobits, and Justy Ueki Tyler in The Irresponsible Captain Tyler.
He's also the thing that'll scare the living shit out of you if you call Bright Stuff's customer service line.
Yup.
If you have never actually called Right Stuff's customer service line, it is literally Crispin Freeman screaming as Justin Ueki Tyler, and it has never not once scared the piss out of me.
Either that, or he puts on Alucard for a hot minute at one point. It depends on what you get. You either get
Wait, what?
Tyler...
You can get it as Alucard? I've never
so.
gotten it as Alucard. Bullshit!
I've gotten Sam Riegel as Viral before.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Yeah.
The fuck?
And I think Liam O'Brien has one or two out there. I think Liam O'Brien did his character from Code Geass.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god, who the fuck was Liam O'Brien in Code
He was the
Geass?
pudding guy. The scientist.
Rivel!
Yeah.
Rivel! No, oh no, not Lloyd!
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd! The best part of Code Geass.
Oh man. Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna go first because I want to piggyback off of my statement of I said like 5 years ago when I watched this show that Crispin Freeman was my favorite performance. And I mean, why wouldn't he be my favorite back then? God, Crispin Freeman. Crispin Freeman does Crispin Freeman as Crispin Freeman as Sume. This is definitely like normal Crispin Freeman that I'm used to. If you watch Chobits is the weird one that I was just like, what is this? I've never heard Crispin Freeman like this.
Underpants.
This is a return to form for Crispin Freeman to me. Even though this is probably done or possibly around the same time as Chobits, actually. Maybe later. Who knows? But, no, Sume is just, he's mad. He's angry. He's a little angry shithead. But, it's interesting because he trying to find the right words to describe this, actually. He generally doesn't care. In the beginning, you see that he doesn't give a shit. In the beginning, you see that Sume just doesn't care about anything or anyone, just himself. Because he's using these, he's seen as part of a gang of humans, and he's like raiding these transport units for nobles, carrying food and everything. And he doesn't give a shit. He cares all about himself. He cares about surviving, and that's it. But once he joins with Kiba and the others, and the more he gets to be with them, the more he finds it's okay to rely on them. Especially after he and Toboe were attacked by the giant robot with lasers. Because Sume is injured during that after trying to help get Toboe to safety, because Toboe is an idiot. But he learns to kind of loosen up a bit more and rely on the rest of them a bit more, and the dynamic between the four of them in general over time becomes more of this cohesive pack, relying on each other, looking out for each other, taking care of each other. And Sume, I think he gets hit hard the most towards the end once everybody starts dying. You wouldn't expect it, but he actually does get hit the hardest. He gets hit very hard after Toboe dies, because he had the strongest connection to Toboe and helping take care of him. And then again, we mentioned this when we were talking about Hige. He's the one who was asked to put Hige down. And he doesn't want to do that, but he does it reluctantly. So by the end of it, you go from this tough as nails, I only care about myself kind of guy, to this is my pack, this is my family. And it hurts. It really hurts seeing that progression with his character, and Crispin portrays that so well, and I love every second of it. He's gruff and tough nails on a chalkboard kind of voice, but it works so well for this character. That, and even in the softer quiet moments, it works so well. Sherry Lynn is Cheza. Sherry Lynn is very interesting. So Sherry and Bob as Hub, Those two are the two that I think took the longest time for me to try and adjust to their voices and their characters and what they're trying to do. In Cheza's case and in Sherry's case, there's a more distinct reason for it, and I think it's because of Cheza as a character herself, because she's just this weird otherworldly being. She always refers to herself in essentially a third person, referring to herself as this one. She never refers to herself by name. And she seems very otherworldly and just very out there, and just like it's a feeling like your head's in the clouds. That's what I'm trying, just like that feeling, but like in a tone of voice, essentially, if that makes sense. But it took a little bit, because I think probably because she is manufactured by humans, that trying to understand the direction that this performance was going, it took a little bit. It was stilted a little bit at times, but towards the end of it, once you really get more of the bigger picture and get more of the understanding of what Cheza is and everything like that, it works. Similar with Hub, once you get past that little bit of rough stiltedness, it gets better, and I think it works by the end. But it's weird to say, in a dub as fantastic as this, I think Sherry and Bob were the two weakest performances to me of the whole show, but that's also saying something with a whole fucking stellar cast, honestly. So that doesn't mean a lot. But yeah, both performances, I enjoyed them very, very well. Crispin, of course, second favorite performance now of the entire show. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. I'll let her go last.
Okay.
Do it.
I'd like to point out that I'm looking up the seiyuu for Sume. Fun fact, that's All Might in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Now
Well,
I want to hear Crispin Freeman as All Might.
Holy shit.
Oh shit, that would be insane.
Yeah, he's also Torque in Radiant.
Okay.
In the Japanese version and the sub for Radiant. He's also, I'm just going through, all the things that he's been in there. He's also, who the hell was Takaoka in Assassinations Classroom again?
Takaoka?
Takaoka. Oh god! He was that fucking guy!
Was he fucking creeper teacher dude?
Yes!
Okay.
With a knife?
Yeah, the one that tried to fight, that made Nagisa fight him in the pit.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
the dad guy that was played by Justin Cook.
Ah, yes. I was about to say, that was Justin Cook,
Yeah.
right?
I was like, yeah, Justin Cook. I was like, who the fuck is that guy? And I saw his picture. I was like, oh god, that guy. I haven't watched Assassination Classroom in years, and I was like, that fucker. Man, I
This
think I'm gonna
asshole.
rewatch this. Fuck, I think I want to rewatch Assassination Classroom. Anyway, let's start out with Cheza. Yeah, Cheza was probably I don't think it's a bad performance that Sherry Lynn did, but it's also not my favorite performance. She's very soft, very creepy, there's a doll-like quality to her. She seems like something that, she has the frailty and stuff down, and I do think when she's dying in the very end and her body explodes into seeds all over the ground, I think she did a great job there. I just don't really have a lot to say about her performance otherwise, just because it was so subdued and very childlike and stuff. And compared to the rest of the cast, especially the wolves, she also doesn't get a lot of screen time and gets kidnapped a lot in the second half of the series.
She gets kind of
kidnapped
put
all over the place.
She kind of gets put in a fridge for the long sections of the show.
Yeah.
And then when she's out of the fridge, she's basically fucking dying,
Yeah.
so she doesn't talk for. So you see her talking, but you never hear anything comes out because her body is too weak to speak.
Yep.
But man, Crispin fucking Freeman, everybody.
Round of applause.
There is a reason that Crispin is the man, the myth, the legend.
Up there with Steve Blum.
Up there with Steve Blum. He is really good. I would say though that if this was done in today's day, I would like a person of color to play Sume because he is.
What would you say that Sume? What race do you think Sume is? Would you say he's an Oka?
Latino.
What'd you say?
I thought he was Latino, actually.
Yeah, he could be like Okinawan because they're all supposed to be based on Japanese, and Okinawans tend to be darker skinned than.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and there are also darker skinned Japanese people.
Right.
He's based off a gray wolf. Like,
I mean,
Hige's a Mexican. Yeah, Sume's a gray wolf. Hige's a Mexican wolf, and Toboe's a red wolf.
And then Kiba's the white wolf.
Yes. Or an Arctic wolf.
Yeah.
So, but God, other than that, Crispin's performance is literally flawless. He is phenomenal in this. But it's Crispin Freeman. Even in his early days, that guy was nailing it, knocking it out of the park.
Oh, absolutely.
It's hard to criticize it. He has this level of gruff. He has this level of, like, being the tough guy, the male tsundere, but at the end of it, he's absolutely emotional and broken into it. Mm-hmm. And, God, Crispin's performance when he's talking to Toboe's corpse is some of the best Crispin Freeman work I've heard in, like, forever. Mm-hmm. Just when he's got his hand on his head and he just runs it over his body and he goes, "You've gotten bigger. You think I would have noticed? You were such a scrawny, small thing. I was the one that was closest to you, and how could I not, like, notice this about you?" And you can hear it in his voice where, at the very beginning of the show, where Crispin is talking to Brianna Sedal's character, to which, "Hi, Brianna Sedal. You're in this show for, like, an episode and a half and then die." You get fucking Mufasa too. Yeah. The way he talks to that child character, because very much Toboe is very much like that kid.
Yes.
Compared to how he died to when Toboe dies, where he doesn't really care about this kid because he's a human and he doesn't think about it. And then you hear him open up about how the reason he got the scar in his chest was because he ran away and let everybody die. And he's kind of living with this front of guilt. And then just him watching Hub die, he reaches his hand out. And then where he puts Toboe down, he puts Hige down, and then his just final words to Kiba, where he's like, I just need to sleep for a little while.
Yeah. And
he's got that big tough guy kind of gruff in his voice to the very end, and it's just so good.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Every one of these performances in the last 4 episodes, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts so much.
Like a wolf bite.
Yep.
Anyway, Hardy.
Yes. I think Sume could easily be summed up as "No talk me, I angy."
I angy, I need food.
Yes.
I hangry.
Yeah, but he is definitely the tsundere of the group. It's not like I want to go to paradise with you, Baka.
Paradise or anything, Baka.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like you guys have said, it's Crispin Freeman. And while I have heard some of Crispin's earlier roles that weren't that great, I have to say he was one of the only good things out of the Utena dub. But yeah, I mean, it's Crispin Freeman. We've heard the man so many times before. We know what he can do. Yeah. And I'd say that as a gold standard for a character, Sume is probably the best example of his best all-around work. Like,
yes,
he's not hammy like Alucard. He's not
batshit crazy like Hideki.
Hideki, yeah, and he's not all flowers and what is a good British character that he's done? I keep forgetting. He was Joker in Read or Die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Again,
Orange.
Which is
Orange.
and Orange. Yeah, I'd say
Orange.
I'd say that.
There's Shizuo Heiwajima. Forgetting about him too.
Yeah. He's not. Sume isn't hammy like all those. He's just well-rounded as a performance. I think if you were to hold up Crispin Freeman and say, "Give me the most well-rounded character he's voiced," I'd probably be Sume.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Would
Yeah.
Keon be the second?
Yeah. What'd you say?
Who would be number 2?
I don't know.
Megan was just saying Keon, actually.
Keon
for
would be a
second.
good one, and also, what's his face from Last Exiled? Not Harlock.
Oh, Roe! Captain
Yes,
Roe!
Captain Rowe.
Oh, God, that guy was so fucking hot, too. It's Megan. Let me lust over
Do you
him.
have a
No, it's
Harlock
fine.
fetish, Megan?
No!
I know I'm jumping in here for a second on your thoughts, and I know you need to talk about Cheza. You know what would be fun?
What?
Talking about the irresponsible Captain Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
God, shut up.
I
Captain
own
Tyler.
the series. You know what? That would be fun.
Should we do?
Captain Tyler obsessed
Should
me.
we do an episode?
If you do, you can't do it with me. You'd have to. I think you'd have to get Lack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god, yeah. I'd be
Yeah.
down for that. We should figure that out. Anyway, okay,
Anyways.
back to you.
Back to me. And as far as Cheza goes, I'm not really too familiar with Sherry Lynn's other performances. She sounds. I think it's fitting. I know that Cheza can be very robotic and doll-like, but I think just like Michelle Ruff in Chobits, it works. Mm-hmm. Because in this particular, you have to remember that Cheza is not human. So her sounding human isn't really to be expected. And I think while this can get grating at times, it's fitting. And so I have to say it works. It is one of the, I hate using the word, say, weaker performances, but in an all-around, otherwise stellar dub, it's by no means a bad thing.
No, yeah, like, I was saying that, too, like, I would say the weaker performances for me are Sherry and Bob, but that's, like, also in a very stellar dub, and even then, it's like, that doesn't seem like an accurate description at all, in all honesty. They were just a little bit rough in the beginning, that's it.
Right.
No, but I think you are right, like, even though Cheza sounds, like, robotic or, like, doll-like, that's the whole point of the character.
Right.
So
And
it
you have
does
to
work.
you have to remember she does get put in a tank for large sections of the show where she doesn't speak. So
Yeah, sometimes it's voiceover. Sometimes it's just like in Kiba's mind, like Kiba. Speaking
the way you said that reminded me of Charlie. Let's go to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Hold on a second. Kiba.
Fuck.
Let's go to paradise, Kiba. Ah, they took my freaking kidney.
Fuck.
Kiba. No, even better. Oh, they took my freaking eyeball.
That's Darcia, though.
Oh, they took my freaking eyeball.
Anyway, speaking of Kiba, are we good and ready to move on to our last character?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So, the leader of the pack, the one who is destined to open the gates of paradise, and I guess rule paradise according to the show, Kiba, our white wolf.
AKA Wolf Jesus.
Not wrong. Not wrong. So, yes, long story short, Kiba is in charge of this ragtag group of outcasts, and instinctually is trying to get to paradise because that's the only thing he knows. And the only thing he knows and wants to do right now. He can be very stubborn and he's very prideful, as exhibited in the first episode. Where he basically gets mad at, like, Sume and Hige is like, why are you a human? You're throwing away your pride as a wolf. It's like, Kiba, shut up. We're just trying to survive. We don't want people to kill us.
Kiba, I don't want to get picked up. Kiba, I don't want to get attacked by the feds.
Kiba, I actually want to live to see tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Kiba,
Anyway.
there's this drunk old guy with this giant-ass revolver shooting at us. I'd rather not.
I'd rather not. Fuck you, fight me. Anyway, Kiba is voiced by another person I would think we would like to call the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Johnny Young Bosch, who has voiced other characters such as Vash the Stampede in Trigun, Lelouch Lamperouge in Code Geass, and Haruto Sakaki in Witch Hunter Robin.
He also really loves pancakes.
wait, what?
I know exactly three.
Jump bacon!
I know at least 3 people will actually get that reference, but continue.
Is it Chomp Chomp Bacon?
Oh, no, not Chomp. Well, he's also a delicious piece of bacon.
I'm very confused
I'm
right
very
now.
confused.
I'll send you the link afterwards. But hey there, I'm Chomp Chomp Bacon, and I just love eating bacon.
I forgot about that. I forgot about Pop Team. But the pancakes part I don't understand.
I'll explain it later.
I forgot about Chomp Chomp Bacon. In the weirdest role that you can never hear Johnny and Bosch ever... You can never pick up Johnny and Bosch as. Ever. Chomp Chomp Bacon. Anyway. Megan, how about you go first?
Jesus, Kibo, for 5 seconds, could you shut up about Paradise?
Not wrong.
Take a shot every time the word paradise is said.
No,
you
take
will
a shot.
die.
No.
You will die.
No, specifically take a shot every time Kiba talks about Paradise.
Oh yeah.
You will fucking die.
Your
just
liver,
like every character in the show.
Your liver will die just like Quint.
Or every single character.
During the show.
Yes.
No, man. Everyone kind of really associates Johnny with like more like oh god. I can't even say everybody associates Johnny with hot-blooded characters because that's not always true.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny has this wide range that I think a lot of people like to stereotype him into, like, just certain characters. Like, oh, he's Vash. Oh, he's Lelouch. Oh, he's Ichigo.
Yep.
But, like, give the guy, like, a mile to show off his drama acting, and he's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like, this... And you can say, oh, well, Code Geass is dramatic. Code Geass is over the top as fuck, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Code Geass is about as subtle as a brick through your window. Like, holy shit. Like, I get to talk about soon, for reasons, another performance of Johnny's that I really like, that I think is in a similar-ish vein to Kiba, but again, that particular work also falls into the about as subtle as a brick to the as a bag of hammers on your head territory. Yeah, I'm looking at very gay art of that character right now in my room.
I think I know which one it is, right?
You should know exactly what it is.
I
So
should.
will
but
everybody
who the fuck
watching.
knows?
So will everybody watching this. But Johnny in this show is such this weird character where, like, you feel like Kiba's omnipotent. Thank you. Omnistone. But he's
Omnislash.
Omnislash. It's Aerith with the chair to your heels.
Fuck.
It's Cherith Painsboro.
Whoops. Anyway.
Sorry.
Cherith Painsboro. Just like this show to my heart.
Oh, yes. Shot through the heart. And you're too late. You give love a bad name.
Guess who also got shot through the heart?
Ah, Kiba.
No, Toboe.
Also true.
So did Darsha, but he walked it off.
It was just a
He
scratch.
walked it off for a while.
He got better.
I got better.
Did you know that becoming a furry makes you immune to getting shot in the heart?
Jesus Christ.
No, but Johnny is so... It's so different from what I remember Johnny Bosch playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, granted, I don't think I've heard him... Kiba doesn't speak soft, but he also doesn't, like... He's not like... What?
Where did that come from? I'm wondering.
I don't know. Lelouch Lamperouche was turning into Farrad Batheroid.
Ooh, Darsha boy.
Oh, God.
Oh, Suzaku boy! Come spin in my direction.
Jesus Christ. I'm at soup.
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store?
Fuck you.
And I just love to eat bacon.
We have to get to paradise.
I'm dying. Fuck.
Why have you thrown away your pride as a wolf?
I can't breathe. Fuck. I can't breathe.
I've got backstroke for days.
Stop it. I can't breathe. Oh my God.
Ooh, look at my
why'd you kill
Zanpakuto!
my dog!
God, I fucking love you too, and I love when we get to do these OG episodes together. You're the fucking best.
I'm trying to think of another
Fuckers.
Johnny Bosch role I can fucking ruin for you right now.
Oh, Bash the Stampede.
Love and peace! Mika boy!
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, back to what I was actually talking about.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh god. Johnny as Kiba is just such a anomaly, I think, for me in listening to his voice over like the years.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to associate Johnny with like, God, you know what it is?
What?
It's Makoto from Free if he was emo as fuck.
You know? Yeah, I see it.
But
I
yeah,
hear it.
but Kiba isn't emo. Kiba has this. It's so weird for a guy who has such this controlled rage and aggression. He never sounds down and out about things.
Yes.
He is always so hopeful up until the very end. And Johnny's saying the speech about paradise is just so beautifully well done. There's just the sense of there's the sense of sadness but not despair in his voice.
Yeah.
And he has to carry that through the entire show, and he has these moments of aggression and these things where he's got to come to realize his own destiny. And Johnny does it perfectly. This might be one of my favorite performances of his of all time.
Okay. Hardy.
Like back when I was saying about Crispin, if you want, I would say that his performance as Kiba is the most well-rounded performance, just like Crispin with Sume. He never goes too over the top. He never gets overly dramatic. It's just a good, solid example of Johnny's Johnny's capabilities. As to whether he's one of my favorite Johnny performances, I wouldn't say, but it is easily one of his most solid and most accessible.
Yes.
Like I don't think you could listen to this, and I don't think anyone could listen to this and say it is a bad performance. And I don't think. I wish more sub-elitists would give this dub a try, because I think it would change at least some of their minds.
Oh, I would think so too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like people always say, "Hey, I hate dubs, but the one good one is Cowboy Bebop." Then show them this. And they might change some minds. Then again, you have some sub-elitists who her heads are so far up their asses they can count their own teeth. But
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. All I can say is, this is... People associate him with Vash, and I was actually one of the few who think his Vash wasn't all that great, mainly because it was just his first performance ever. Mm-hmm. But I'd say that this is the one. If his Vash the Stampede role was his crawl so that Kiba could run.
Vash the Stampede walked so that this bitch can run.
Yeah, so that and he literally does run in the credits of every episode. Yes. And you feel the gravity of it all afterwards.
God, that song is so fucking good.
Maaya Sakamoto, my heart.
I still like Stray better, but I mean that's
Stray is also fantastic.
Okay, to be fair, my actual favorite song in the entire show is "Heaven's Not Enough."
Oh, my heart. Yoko Kanno. Oh,
Okay,
brilliant.
okay. "Heaven's Not Enough" is my favorite song with lyrics. My favorite song in the show that doesn't have lyrics is "Go to Rakuen," which is the song that plays. Sorry for the massive spoiler alerts. Where Kiba lays dying and it starts raining.
Yes. Yes.
The rain part of the Wolf's Rain.
Right.
Haha. No, yeah, Yoko Kanno. Oh, beautiful master. Oh, love it. Anything else, Hardy?
That's it.
Okay. That leaves me. I don't have a ton more that I can add compared to what the two of you have said. But Kiba as a character is very prideful, is very instinctual, is very, he's very hard-headed, too, and stubborn. Because, again, he wants to find paradise. He doesn't give a fucking shit about anything else. Granted, over time, he actually does care. and is willing to go after, like, other things at the time instead of needing to go to paradise. Like, what's a good example of it? What one was it? It was, he caught the scent of lunar flowers again, and who was he trying to save? I think it was... Was it Tobue or Sume? It was one of those two. Probably Sume, more than likely. I think it's happened on a couple of different occasions where he goes back to help Sume. Because as stubborn and prideful as he is, throughout the course of the show, I think Kiba also learns what it means to be part of a pack and part of this family, because his family basically was taken from him when he was a baby. And he didn't have anything or anyone to rely on except for this, an older native man who basically took him in and raised him, and taught him different things. And it's just very interesting how that works. I'm going to agree with Hardy that if you're looking for a well-rounded Johnny Young Bosch performance, this is definitely one that you want to see. Because there's just so much emotion and complexity. The same can be said for all of these characters. There's so much emotion and complexity with these characters, and these performances are just outstanding, just every second of it. And Johnny in particular, he has every aspect of of Kiba's character down, because Kiba sees the world for what it is. I think Kiba sees the world for what it is as an outsider's perspective of things, and it's growing and learning about these different things along the way. Because if he's the outsider perspective, you have Sume, who's basically the ghetto perspective, I guess, for lack of better words. Then you have Tobue, who is more of the human aspects, in that perspective. And then Hige's just Hige, I guess. I don't know.
The more brainwashed perspective, I suppose.
Hige's the one who's just damaged by society. Mm-hmm. He's the damaged character of the group. That's where it is. You just don't know it until later on. Anyway, no, but I think Johnny's performance, he nails so many aspects and complexities with this character, and it's just so interesting. And I actually find it very interesting and love the fact that you mentioned, Megan, the opening bit and the last bit of the show where he talks about searching for paradise. A fun thing that I found out during the casting interviews with the Japanese cast, Mamoru Miyano had said, and this was very early on in the recording stages when these interviews were done, that first bit in the first episode was the most difficult part for him to try.
I would imagine so, because if that's the first thing you have to record is that very scene where you don't know what's going on, and I actually think, now that I think about it, it's actually the last scene in the show played first, and then it's in media res. I think that's the right term.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I can understand, because Mamoru Miyano had mentioned, nailing just the right tone and the softness and the complexity of just that one scene and just making it flow effortlessly. He had to do multiple takes on it. So I'm imagining the same probably had to be done with Johnny. Because Kiba is just an interesting character, and I love Johnny's portrayal of it. I love this dub in general. I really do. But yeah, I'm in agreement with Hardy that if you want again, same with Crispin, if you want a well-rounded performance from Johnny on Bosch, you have to watch him as Kiba. And I think I'm also in the camp with Megan that this is probably at least one of my favorite Johnny Young Bosch performances ever. Cause yeah, Vash was the one who walked so that Kiba could run, legit.
And he kept running.
And he kept running and running, and all of the gravity, just. Anyway, moving on. I think we're done. We should move on to final thoughts. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Final thoughts on the dub of Wolf's Rain. Do we like it? Do we hate it? Do we love it? Does it still hold up now? Megan, what do you think?
I think that Cherith Painsborough specifically wrote this dub. No, the show and this dub. No, that's not true. I absolutely love this dub. I am very happy that I watched it, though, at the age that I'm at, which is, at the time of this recording, 28 years old. I don't think a younger me would have appreciated the amount of work and artistic value that the show has.
Yeah.
The show may be confusing, the show may be dry, but I'm gonna give the staff at Bones and its director, whose name I looked up and now I don't fucking have.
Daisato?
No, not
No,
that.
Daisato did not direct this.
Oh.
He just wrote a couple of the episodes.
Oh, okay.
You
No, this-
are talking about Tensai
I got
Okamura.
it. Okamura. Yes. Tensai Okamura, who did other works, including... I'm trying to think of other stuff that he directed. Because he did a lot of... He did direct Project Blue Earth SOS. He was the director of Darker Than Black.
He did a couple episodes of Blue X. He's the main. He's the director of Blue Exorcist.
So, yes.
See, he directed the Cowboy Bebop movie.
Yep.
Yes.
Darker Than Black. I'm just looking really quickly.
He was the director of Memories Episode 2 Stink Bomb.
Oh my god, director of Metabots, if you can believe it.
God bless. Yeah, so, Tensai Okamura's Wild Ride is, and like I said, I was very every so often. There you are, Daisato. He wrote a lot of the really good episodes though. I think he wrote the finale episode.
He wrote 7 episodes. He wrote 26, which is the end of the main series. He didn't touch the OVAs, it looks like.
Right, he wrote the last episode of the main series where Jaguara dies.
Hold on, let me just double check the... Yeah, Keiko Nobumoto did, the OVAs with some help with a few others, but Daisato's not one of them.
Yeah, no, but anyway, my point is that I respect this show like I respect Katsuki Akane for Stars Align, which is these motherfuckers dug their heels in and said, we are fucking ending it our way and we don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks. Yep. So, as a piece of art, this show is, it is a hauntingly beautiful look at life, the human struggle, what really is paradise, who deserves to go there. And this dub walks that very fine line, and it comes out so beautifully. Like, this dub holds up almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
It is impeccably done. It is some of the actors on this finest work. It is something that I think that even if you don't like the show, it's worth the 30-episode watch, especially as a dub fan, just to respect the work that went into it.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're a sub-only fan, it's also worth the watch to put the respect that the Japanese team put into this.
Yep.
It is my absolute favorite Yoko Kanno score at this point. That being said, please watch the living shit out of this. The dub is fantastic. I think it is one of the best dubs I've ever watched for the show.
Awesome. All right, Hardy, how about you? How do you feel about the dub of Wolf's Rain?
The dub is great. Everything, all the performances sound phenomenal. The acting is great. The script, I do have a few issues with it, but overall works. It is what I would consider easily in the top 10 of best dubs of all time.
Okay.
My feelings towards the show itself.
Okay, this is what I'm curious about, yeah.
Okay. As you know, this was one of the 3 shows, or few shows that I specifically chose not to watch because of the fandom. Well, not necessarily the fandom in this case. I felt like it was too big and I didn't need to bother with it. Coming back and watching it in 2020, now that I have actually watched it, I can easily say I did not love it.
Okay.
Reasons being, I think at times it was confusing. I think there were too many questions left unanswered. And why wolves? Why specifically take this one animal and focus on it? It doesn't explain how they're able to do the illusion trick. We never find that out. It doesn't explain why apparently wolves were the original creatures and humans evolved from them, which that's doesn't make sense. It doesn't go into the backstory of the war. It doesn't explain how everything reincarnates how many years later, and man, the humans got chewed out on the reincarnation. We get to see all the wolves come back, but none of the other characters. Which
Not all the wolves. We don't see blue.
yeah, well,
My actual theory about that is that in the reincarnated world that Quint is Toboy's dad.
okay.
That'd
All
be
right.
cute.
Well, some were speculating that the kitten was blue and that the flower was Cheza.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I know that some shows are supposed to leave things up to the imagination. With this one in particular, I do wish it answered more questions than it did.
You think it left it too much up to the imagination for open interpretation?
Right. And during
Okay.
the entire, like, there were so many questions I wanted to answer, and it just said, "Hey, just make up your own, whatever, do it."
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I can respect this show. The music is wonderful. The animation is stunning. The dub still holds true 16 years later.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, Wolf's Rain is not my favorite as a show.
And
I respect that.
I
Yeah.
respect
At
that
least-
too. Wolf's Rain is a very heavy, hard-hitting show, very complex, but it
Yeah.
can be confusing, and it's not going to be for everybody.
And the like I said, the scenes of animal abuse are painful to watch. The reason that I put off watching this show so much is because one of the episodes I caught on a whim, I forget if it was on a live stream back in the day or if it was on Adult Swim, was the scene.
It was Adult Swim.
Well, I mean, I think they someone streamed it. I think it might have been Heizo Otaku back in the day.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah. But it was the scene where they go to the city and the pack of wolves was hiring themselves out.
Yes. Okay.
And,
Yes.
and the old wolf just
The old
sort
man,
of
yep.
keels over in the middle of it, and they're whipping him. And I'm like I can't watch this.
Yep.
It's just,
Yeah, that scene was hard to watch.
and
It's
yeah,
fair.
so for years I said, hey, you know what? I'm not going to bother with this. And it wasn't until we decided that we were going to cover it for the birthday episodes.
It wasn't until I decided, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do Wolf's Rain because happy birthday, Dub Talk.
Yeah.
This is how my life works.
All right. Well, you two watched Gunsmith Cats for me, so I figured I might as well get.
Aw.
Yeah. So now
I get the kind of chill birthday episode for this.
Out of the
podcast.
3 OG picks, yours is the most chill and relaxing.
right.
Like,
But it's also still really freaky.
Yeah.
like Hardy's is action packed. Mine is just weird, complex, philosophical bullshit, and yours is just like chill.
Mine is chill time and body horror.
Yeah.
Yours is chill time, sweet dream, lullaby, body horror.
Or
So now,
Megan's favorite thing.
so I can finally check this one off on my watch list. Now I just have to finish Evangelion and eventually force myself through Death Note. So
I don't think I ever want to watch Evangelion.
yeah.
That's just,
I don't want to watch Death Note again. It's a garbage show.
I'm okay with watching Death Note. Like, give me like another 10 years, and maybe I'll revisit it for some fucking reason.
Just license Rescue Monster, so we're all happy, okay, guys?
Please,
Just do it.
please. I want. Oh my god. Sorry.
Yeah.
I want that so bad.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for me. Go ahead, Steph.
No, I appreciate that. Like, because yeah, Wolf's Rain is a show that's not going to be for everybody. Absolutely not. Like, people are going to absolutely love it, like me, and I know Megan really enjoyed it. But there are people that are gonna just be like a little off-putting to people, either because the story is a little odd, like there's more questions than answers, and I can understand and I respect that. So this show means a lot to me, because like I said in the beginning, this is the show that helped me discover what anime actually was at the ripe young age of, how old was Babby Steph? She would have been 14 probably, because this originally was in Japan in 2003. She would have been 14, 15 years old at the time. And discovering what anime actually is. And this show is always going to have a special place in my heart because of that. Because it helped me discover who the nerd I am today. It's weird to say, but here I am, boys and girls. But this show is, I think, the show itself is just beautiful and it's just so haunting and it's just so complex and so many layers to it. I also see the flaws that Hardy was mentioning before and being a little confusing, that there's more questions than answers to some things, like what the hell is happening. I understand it. But I think for me, the most enjoyment I get out of it is just the journey in and of itself. The journey to get where these outcasts are going to. The journey to help them find paradise. And I think that's what really draws me in, and I get really attached to that. In terms of the dub itself, oh my god. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, my only criticisms of it are a couple stilted lines, maybe one weird pronunciation of Jagada, and just a little bit of rough stilted performances from two characters, but this is also in a dub that's outstanding. Like, I can't even really say that those two performances are, like, the weakest of the bunch, because they are also still outstanding. It's just those one small flaws. But, no, this is beautifully written, this is beautifully directed, this is beautifully cast, this is beautifully performed. I would tell people to go watch Wolf's Rain at least once. This is one of those shows that I feel like everybody should watch at least once, just to say that they did. I love the death out of the show, and I will tell people to watch it, like, so many times. But I also understand that it's going to be a bit off-putting, and some people aren't going to like it. But I think you should at least watch the show at least once to say you have seen it. Because I think it's that beautiful. And if, in terms of Mary Elizabeth McGlynn dubs, if Bebop was what started a standard, a new standard for how English dubs should be, Wolf's Rain solidified it. Like, solidified it, and I think it outshines Bebop so easily, and it has amazing performances and amazing well-rounded performances from a bunch of voice actors. But no, at the end of the day, please go watch Wolf's Rain at least once. You may not love it, it's not going to be for everybody, but at the end of the day, it's a beautiful show, and it's a fantastic dub, and I think everybody at least should watch it once.
So where can we watch it, Steph?
So, in order to watch Wolf's Rain, there's a couple different ways. So, currently, as of the recording of this episode, it is licensed by Funimation. It was formerly licensed by Bandai until Bandai shut down in, 2013, 2012, something like that?
Something like that.
And Funimation picked it up 3 or 4 years later. It is currently streaming on their streaming service, Funimation Now, as well as there is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack edition of Wolf's Rain.
I think there's a couple. I think there's a classics release of it too now.
Mm-hmm.
There might be.
There is.
There is? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There is. I have the original release that they did.
Yeah,
of the show.
the classics, I believe, is Blu-ray only.
Okay, I have the DVD. I have the original DVD Blu-ray combo pack, with the little.
Which is gorgeous, by the way.
The Blu-ray rendering on this show is, oh my god, it is beautiful.
Fun fact:
Yeah.
the Funimation Blu-ray is the only official Blu-ray. They don't have one in Japan, I don't believe.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think I remember hearing something like that. But anyway, just as also a heads up to folks at home, we said Wolf's Rain is 30 episodes, so it's technically 26 episodes and a 4-episode OVA, but they are all together. And as a heads up, because we didn't really talk about it that much, the reason why there's a 4-episode OVA is there's actually 4 recap episodes in the middle of the damn show.
Right in a row.
In a row. You can go through those recap episodes if you want, but if you just plain...
You should, because there's good music in them.
You should, because it is good music, and for recap episodes, they're good. I did think they were good recap episodes. However, you also can skip the recap episodes and not miss a damn thing. So, just be forewarned there. If all of a sudden you see, if all of a sudden in the middle of the show you see Sume pop up and you start from the beginning, it's not a mistake. So, anyways,
You will, however, miss Koichi Could You Bite the Hand, which is another great OST track.
Yes. Anyway, if you're interested in seeing anything that Dub Talk does, the easiest way to do that is, of course, to subscribe to us here on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dubtalkpodcast. We are, for episodes on the go, we are also available. This is the first time I get to say all this. We are also available to listen to through Podbean, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. If you prefer to take us on the go, it's fantastic. For social media, you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr is dead. We also have a Twitch account. And if you really want to show even more support to us, we do have a Ko-fi page for any little one-time donations. And we also have our Patreon, where you can essentially donate monthly to us and get early access to episodes and clips and fun little bits of news and fun things like that we're working on. And speaking of our patrons, of course, we have to give a huge shout out to our patrons. We have B. Morris, Crimson Echidna, Michael Nuttig, Michelle Travis, Miraculous Corazon, Nico Robin but with Yowie Hands, Carly Lesticow, Jacob Wilson, J2 aka Jared, Julia W, Marissa Lenti, and Spartacus. I'm Spartacus.
No, I'm Spartacus.
No, I'm Spartacus.
Ooh, Mika boy, I'm Spartacus.
You. But no, thank you to our wonderful
You set me up.
I did. But no, thank you to our wonderful patrons for their continued support. As for shit that the three of us do, Andrew is staring at me. What are you standing in the doorway for?
Yeah.
I was letting you do your thing. You were so close to me.
You're watching me and I can tell, and it's creepy.
Yeah.
He wants.
Go away.
He wants snoo.
He's not gonna get snoo if this keeps up. And
Oh, Andrew boy, would you like some snoo?
I can't hear you right now.
After this is done, you need to take your headphones off.
I will.
for
But
me.
anyway, for anything that the three of us do, if you want to follow Megan, you can follow her on her Twitter at QueenEra2, where she shitposts a lot. For anything that Hardy does,
I shit post and I coerce my boyfriend into buying me Fire Up on body pillows.
hooray.
And mouse pads.
Aw,
Excuse me, I bought that one for myself.
whoops. Anyway,
I am Ferdinand von Ayer.
I love Ferdinand. Anyway, for anything that Hardy does, you can follow him on Twitter at SpacemanHardy. And you're still a forum moderator?
I am. Forum and
You are-
Discord.
Yep, you can also hang out with him on the Funimation forum and Discord, as he is one of the moderators. As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled R-E-V-U-E, as well as I have a blog that I kind of recently updated, I guess, finally, in the first time in a couple of years. Not the greatest circumstances, but either way. But you can check out my blog at lifeandtimesotaku.wordpress.com. Anything else that we want to talk about or discuss right now, or are we done? Have we reached paradise?
Yeah. Wash your hands.
Ah, yes.
Wear a mask, Mika boy.
Yes. The world is still in a weird place right now. Please be safe, stay healthy. Wash your hands, you fucking heathens. Please, please, please stay safe. And because we want to keep you here. We would like you to come back and say hi. Please. So please stay safe. Please stay safe. Please wash your hands. And be good to one another. Be kind to one another, please. Please, please, please. The world is weird right now.
There is one thing I want to do before we end the episode.
Okay, let's go. What is it?
Ooh, I am Ferdinand von Ayer. Every time I do the Farron voice, everybody fucking hates me, but Hardy laughs his ass off, and I do it for him.
I die. That's how it happens to me. I just die of laughter. So on that note, thank you, Mr. Ferdinand von Ayer.
You're welcome.
On that note, thank you very much for joining us. Happy birthday, Dub Talk. Heck yeah. 5 years. God.
Check out our sexy new logo, which yours truly made.
Heck yeah, thanks, Hardy.
I was about to say, did you say check? I thought you were gonna say check out our sex tape. It's not actually a sex tape. It's just Roots doing the Captain America. So you thought you were gonna watch a sex tape?
No. And then it switches immediately over to the Speed Racer head.
Yes. Yes.
It's nothing but 5 hours of the Speed Racer head staring into your soul.
Every so often, a new hat comes on.
Roots, I love you. Please make
love you,
this
honey.
happen. Please make this a thing.
I love you, honey.
Anyway,
You're my
thank you,
paradise.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope you have a good night, and as always, otaku on my friends.
Fall in love with us again next week.
All right. Someone needs to put this dog down. She's going.
Wow!
I love you.
I'm gonna shit in your shoes.
Good night, everybody.
Been a long road to follow, been there and gone.